Is Stephen A. Smith the biggest hater that Kawhi Leonard got going out there? That's what we're going to talk about today in this video. So I'm just going to get right into it, okay? So I was watching Stephen A. Smith speak yesterday, and him and Max Kellerman were going back and forth, talking about who are the best ranked players in the NBA, okay? Now, let me just quickly give you a backstory of why I'm making this whole video, why we decided to do this video in the first place. So as you know, Kawhi Leonard is my favorite player currently, active player in the NBA right now. I think he's the best player in the world from, on both sides of the ball. He's not the number one scorer in the NBA. He's certainly the best defensive player in the world and, the best two-way player in all of basketball. And he pretty much showed the entire league why he deserves to be the number one player just these last playoffs, with him going to Toronto Raptors, playing with a new team, virtually having no chemistry with them, just going there, meeting these guys, then helping leading this team to the NBA championship, beating the Golden State Warriors and all these, great things that he was able to accomplish, including becoming Finals MVP and, one of the few players to ever win a Finals MVP on multiple teams. So you guys know all of this, okay? You guys understand all of this. But for the longest time, for whatever reason, my man Stephen A. Smith has not been giving Kawhi Leonard his props. And I have a few reasons why I believe so. But before I get into that, I just want you guys to check out this clip and see him talking about Kawhi Leonard, arguing about him, about Kawhi Leonard as far as where does he rank in the NBA just yesterday. So check this clip out.
Davis is one of the top 5 players on the planet Earth. This dude is better than Kawhi Leonard. LeBron is better than Kawhi Leonard. Kevin Durant is better than Kawhi Leonard. I love Kawhi Leonard. Top 5. But I'm telling you, those 3 alone don't come to me. Kawhi is 4th. All right, and Paul George, he's there. He's in the conversation as one of the best players in the NBA. He is a star in this league. But we're talking superstars.
Superstar.
We are talking
Kawhi Leonard's offense.
Okay, so you guys just saw what he was saying, and you can see that at a certain point, Max Kellerman was just like, yo, bruh, dude, what are you talking about? And me watching that video, I kind of had the same, reaction, sort of the same that Max Kellerman had, because my whole contention is, depending on the way Stephen A. Smith ranks Kawhi Leonard, I'm really curious as to the reason why he decided to do so. So let's look at the players that he thinks are better than Kawhi Leonard. Number one, he says that LeBron James is a better basketball player than Kawhi Leonard. Here's my only issue with that. First of all, let me say LeBron is one of the best players, one of the greatest basketball players of all time. The only problem with that is that LeBron last year didn't play any defense, okay? Yes, he scored, I think, about 28 points a game or so. He had about 7 rebounds, 7 assists, which is fantastic. But, basketball is played on 2 sides of the, both ends on the court. And he didn't play much defense and all these different, blooper, highlight reels on the NBA of him, not playing defense and all these different things. I'm not here to slander LeBron James, okay? I'm just here to say that if I had to pick between the 2 players, the one player scoring 26.6 points a game and Kawhi and LeBron scoring 28. But I know that this guy is going to take on the toughest defensive matchup night in and night out. I just think that Kawhi Leonard ranks ahead of him just for the simple fact that he plays offense and defense and he's a better free throw shooter. But I'm not going to get into all of those things. So I have Kawhi Leonard above LeBron. So Stephen A. Smith says he has LeBron James ahead of Kawhi Leonard. He has Anthony Davis ahead of Kawhi Leonard, and he has Kevin Durant ahead of Kawhi Leonard. Now, let me just say, Kevin Durant, if you want to say that Kevin Durant is a better basketball player than Kawhi Leonard, I'm not going to argue with you too much because you can make so many cases on opposite sides. A reason why Kevin Durant has not made it on a lot of these lists this season is because of his injury. So I'm going to take that into account and say that Kevin Durant is certainly right up there in the top 3 or 4 players in the entire world. But my contention is, I don't understand why Stephen A. Smith does not want to give this dude his props. Now, when Max Kellerman presses him on the reason why, like, dude, why don't you think Kawhi Leonard is the best player in the world? He says, well, AD is better than Kawhi Leonard. AD is one of the best players in the world. Like, yeah, he is. But we're looking at results. You just can't say you're the best player in the world and don't have any results to back that up. Kawhi Leonard is fresh off an NBA Finals MVP. Now, let me just give you guys some stats here that may surprise you. In the playoffs last year, Kawhi Leonard averaged 30 points a game. He made about 10 field goals a game, which he ended up shooting 49% from the floor. He shot 38% from the three-point land. he averaged about 11 rebounds a game and about 4 assists per game. Now, he led the entire playoffs in points, rebounds, and assists, and I think in steals as well. One player did that. Now, the reason I believe that Stephen A. Smith is not putting Kawhi Leonard ahead of these other players is because his game is not as pretty as, let's say, Kevin Durant. Kevin Durant has a beautiful jump shot. It looks really good. Now, Kawhi Leonard has a really good looking, really great looking jump shot, but it's not KD. It's not as smooth. Kawhi's moves a little bit more mechanical, and I think that's the reason why Stephen A. Smith kind of holds that against him. He will look for every reason in the book to not make him the number one player. He'll say LeBron James is better than him. Anthony Davis is better than him. I don't know where he got that. Yes, Anthony Davis on his own is a great player, but basketball is a team sport. And you have to look at, yes, if you're the best player in the world, you also have to look at the impact that you have on a team. Now, he also goes on to say, we're talking about superstars. Well, excuse me, how the hell is Kawhi Leonard not a superstar? If you ask Stephen A. Smith, is James Harden a superstar? He'll say yes. James Harden has flaked out so many times in the playoffs, you can't even count them. Yet, he's a superstar, and Kawhi Leonard is not a superstar. I don't understand how he's not the superstar when he clearly, right now, in this present moment, as I'm doing this video, is the most powerful player in the NBA right now, just because he was able to take the league from being a super team league to a duo league, a dynamic duo league. Kawhi Leonard's one decision to decide to go play with the Los Angeles Clippers and then bring Paul George with him completely shifted the landscape of the NBA, gave it a completely different feel. That's the power of one player. So I don't know how a person that's not a superstar is able to do something like that. I just think that the reason why Stephen A. Smith does not want to give this dude his props is because of the way he plays. He's not as pretty of offensively, he's not as pretty of a player. And Stephen A. Smith has a tendency to really be biased towards offensive players, people that can put up a lot of buckets like Kevin Durant and players like this. So I believe that's the reason why he's giving him the nod. But if you were to weigh it on the results and his production, there's no way in hell you're going to put any other basketball player in the world ahead of Kawhi Leonard. So what I want to know from you guys is, do you think that Stephen A. Smith is hating on Kawhi, or do you think he's just telling the truth? If you think he's hating on him, let me know what you think in the comment section below. And if you think he's telling the truth, let me know why you think Kawhi Leonard deserves to be ranked number 4 on Stephen A. Smith's top players in the NBA list. So let me know what you guys think. Again, if you enjoyed the video, don't forget to hit the like button and subscribe to the channel. This is Charles here from DreamersPro. Wishing you guys a great day. Peace.